We're going to start off with a clip.
Parties he has never attended. If he were to punch you in the face, you would have to fight off the strong urge to thank him. Sharks have a week dedicated to him. He is the most interesting man in the world.
I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Buenas tardes, everybody. So today you will learn the story of a pop culture icon and maybe get a little bit better understanding about our culture. And at worst, you'll have a couple of conversation starters at the next party you go to. So from the first time I saw these commercials, I was interested in them, and obviously it's a very nice commercial, good advertising strategy. And I initially did some research on this when I was doing a project for one of my Spanish classes. So without further ado, here are the 10 most interesting things about the man who plays the most interesting man in the world. Number 1, he's more likely to attend a bar mitzvah than a quinceañera. His name is Jonathan Goldsmith, and he's more likely to attend a bar mitzvah than a quinceañera. He was born in New York and has a Russian Jewish heritage. So not only was his first drink probably Manischewitz, but as the commercial also says, he is the life of parties he's never been to. He was thrown out of NYU for partying, basically. A lot of it was drinking. It doesn't say if it was Dos Equis or not, though. And some extracurricular activity with one of his professors. So he's a lover, not a fighter. But he's also a fighter, so don't get any ideas. He is a very competitive actor. He and Dustin Hoffman often vied for roles in their early days. In an interview with The New Yorker, he said that he once told Dustin Hoffman, "Dustin, the reason you don't like me is because I'm going to make it and you're not."
Who won the Academy Awards?
I know, that's what I was thinking, but yeah. So he's tough. A rattlesnake once bit him, and after 5 days, the snake died. He's had more than 9 lives on screen. He made a career for himself as that guy in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. He would often get shot on screen. He was also shot by John Wayne. Just to list a few of the shows that he was on. He appeared on Gunsmoke, Y5O, Bonanza, Magnum P.I., MacGyver, Dallas, a lot of shows. Goldsmith also has a knack for being at the right place at the right time. He once warned a psychic. He saved 2 people's lives over his life. The first was a drowning girl in Malibu, Florida, while he was on a boating expedition with one of his friends. And next was on a weekend hike in Mount Whitney. He stayed with a hypothermic hiker until help could arrive. Much like his character, Goldsmith has spent a lot of time on the sea. Sharks have a week dedicated to him. He currently lives on a boat with his wife off the coast of California. And in an interview with the Jewish Journal, he said it's 47.3 feet. It had a bris. It was 50 feet. Yeah. Speaking of his wife, he mixes business with pleasure. His wife was originally his agent. That's how the two met. This is Goldsmith's 3rd marriage. I alluded to this earlier, but the person he was sailing with was actually one of his close friends, and he owes him a huge thanks when it comes to the role as the Dos Equis character. He told this was also in the New Yorker, but he said that, referring to Fernando Lamas, his friend, he was the greatest swordsman who ever lived in Hollywood. The two were close friends. They sailed around the Caribbean with each other, and Lamas was an Argentinian actor and the definition of suave. Now, what he did was inspire Goldsmith for how to interpret the role as the Dos Equis man. So this was the original most interesting man in the world. So at this point, you must be thinking, how could anyone else have played this role? But Goldsmith actually came very close to not getting it. It was a complete shot in the dark. The audition was a cattle call, over 400 actors were vying for the role, most of them Latino. And in an interview with Cigar Aficionado, Goldsmith told them, "It's not going to be me. he was almost positive that he was not going to get this role. But thanks to some convincing done by his wife, his agent at the time, that's how he got it. Finally, just like his character, he doesn't always drink beer. According to Business Insider, Goldsmith is more of a Scotch or martini man. So, in conclusion, it's easy to see where art can imitate life for Goldsmith. And you can see that he and his character have both led interesting lives. Now, I don't always give presentations, but when I do, I prefer the